ChargerQuest really solves two significant industry problems related to the lack of charging infrastructure. And you provide opportunities to host locations to capitalize from EV owners visiting commercial locations. And you do this by introducing innovative EV charging technology in your robust business model, which we'll get into later in this call. And from what we're reading and what we're seeing, ChargerQuest really has created a winning formula for success. And I think folks who are listening on this call will want to know quite clearly what that winning formula looks like with ChargerQuest, Canada's electric vehicle charging network. So I'd like to open with this. How does a fellow, yourself, with a McMaster University kinesiology degree lead this incredible Canadian success story in the electric vehicle charging space?
Oh, that's a great question, Declan. You're putting me on the spot this morning, and I love it, quite frankly. Yes, I come from a background in healthcare. Like many Canadians growing up and you're 17, 18 years of age, you don't necessarily know what you want to do. You don't know what that inner passion really is all about. Some of us certainly do, but people like me at the time were sort of waffling. And I had sort of a rich dad, poor dad upbringing. And my poor dad, who, by the way, is not poor, but successful, but very much focused on education, said, you have to go to school. And so I did. But there was always this inner voice sort of tapping my shoulder saying, Chris, you're an entrepreneur. And so I was always exploring everything that I could. I was learning, approaching mentors, understanding business. And looking back, I probably should have gone to business school. And I ended up going to pursuing an MBA later in life. But that's really sort of where things started to happen, was in university and beyond. I got into real estate investment. I got into healthcare consulting. I owned a few clinics. So even though I followed a healthcare journey in my first 15, 20 years of my career, I was always actively pursuing entrepreneurial interests. And one day, a good friend of mine, we would share war stories at Starbucks over lattes. We literally cobbled on a piece of napkin. This sounds so cliche, Declan, but we cobbled out on a piece of paper what eventually became an EV infrastructure company. And the very next day, I resigned from healthcare, an executive position in a hospital, to pursue my dream, which was starting a robust, innovative company in electric vehicle infrastructure space. And then fast forward to today, well, it just pursued over the 10 years. ChargerQuest was formed out of necessity. You spoke about some of the challenges within the space, and it's really it was a chicken and egg dilemma, right? Why would people buy electric vehicles if there's no infrastructure to support charging them? And why put in infrastructure if there's really no electric vehicles to purchase that are reasonably priced and have decent range? And that's where the formula, the secret sauce, if you will, of ChargerQuest kind of came from. We knew that we could own and operate charging assets and draw clients to the very best locations in Canada. And in this day and age, struggling organizations because of COVID and other economic factors. And so that's where ChargerQuest's origins came from. And I'm excited and thrilled and so passionate to be a part of this amazing corporation.